Welcome to Pennywise Books, where we turn timeless books into rich, engaging conversations that feed your mind. If you've ever wished for full book value with zero reading, you're exactly where you need to be. Settle in. Today's book might just unlock a new way of seeing money. And if you find this useful, insightful, or even just a little inspiring, go ahead and subscribe. It helps more curious minds find us too. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
This is where we take, these complex topics, dense sources, and really try to distill them.
Right, get down to the actionable insights you can actually use, and hopefully pretty quickly.
Exactly. And today, we're digging into something really quite old, but incredibly relevant.
We're looking at the book of Proverbs, and maybe not in the way most people think about it.
Yeah, it's often seen purely as, spiritual guidance.
Which it is, partly. But our sources, both expert commentary and the text itself, they reveal this intensely practical side. It's almost like a timeless business manual.
A manual for what exactly?
For everyday living, sure, but with a huge focus on things like ethics and business, financial planning, how to actually build wealth, and maybe most importantly, how to manage risk.
Okay, so our mission today, for you listening, is to give you that shortcut. We've gone through the commentary, we've looked at the King James text specifically.
And I've pulled out 10, let's call them foundational rules. These are just quick tips.
No, these feel more like fundamental laws for building, not just wealth, but secure, lasting wealth. Durable riches, as the text puts it.
Exactly. So if you're looking to really grasp this ancient wisdom, understand that connection between, say, your character, how hard you work, and actual prosperity. This is for you.
We're basically exploring the core idea from the start of the book, Proverbs 1, right? It's about getting wisdom, instruction, wise counsels.
That's the promise. Let's see if it delivers.
Okay, so before we even get to the rules, we have to talk about where this stuff comes from. The source matters here, doesn't it?
Absolutely, because the primary author attributed in the text is King Solomon.
And Solomon wasn't just, some philosopher king. He's known historically, biblically, as incredibly wise, but also
incredibly wealthy. I mean,
Yes.
by the standards of his time, perhaps unmatched. The sources, like iKings, even quantify his wisdom 3,000 proverbs attributed to him.
So when he talks about wealth and management, it's coming from someone who, actually achieved it on a massive scale.
Right. It's not theoretical. And the origin story of that wealth and wisdom is crucial. It wasn't like a hostile takeover or anything.
No, it came from a choice, right? God basically offered him anything.
Anything. And he asked for just one thing. Not long life, not riches, not victory over enemies.
He asked for wisdom.
Specifically, understanding to discern judgment and understanding heart to govern his people effectively. Ethical leadership was his priority.
And the response is, that's the core formula we're talking about, isn't it?
It really is, because God was apparently so pleased with this choice. He gave him the wisdom he asked for, plus the things he didn't ask for.
Riches and honor, unmatched riches and honor.
So the sequence is critical. Wisdom first, then wealth follows. That's the foundational economic principle here. Wisdom isn't just nice to have, it's the primary asset.
Proverbs 4.7 says it flat out. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom.
And with all thy getting, get understanding. It's the absolute priority.
And the kind of wealth it leads to. You mentioned durable riches earlier. Proverbs 8 talks about that.
Yes. Riches and honor are with me. Yea, durable riches and righteousness. That word durable is key.
Why durable? What does that imply financially?
It implies something that lasts, something resilient, not wealth that comes from a lucky break or, some shady deal that collapses.
So it's sustainable, built on something solid.
Built on righteousness and wisdom, according to the text. It suggests this kind of wealth can withstand shocks, market changes, political shifts, even personal failings, potentially. It's built on stone, not sand.
That makes sense. Character as the foundation.
Exactly. And we should also probably mention, for thoroughness, that Solomon is the main guy, yes, but Proverbs is actually a collection.
Right. There are sections from others, anonymous writers, someone named Agur, King Lemuel.
Yeah, chapters 30 and 31, for instance. So it's like a curated collection of tested wisdom. Think of it as ancient, peer-reviewed advice, maybe.
Grounded by the insights of arguably the most successful leader of that era.
Precisely.
Okay, so with that authority established, the book really sets up a stark choice, doesn't it? It's wisdom versus folly.
And the stakes are incredibly high. It's not just about being smart. It's about survival and prosperity versus, ruin.
The whole point is getting wisdom to avoid the traps.
Right. Proverbs 1 lays that out. Wisdom leads to life unto thy soul, health, preservation.
And folly, the alternative path.
The text calls it wickedness sometimes. It leads directly to destruction, poverty, sorrow. Proverbs 1.32, 10.15. It's pretty blunt. The foolish apparently despise this knowledge.
And just to hammer home the value proposition, wisdom isn't just compared to money, it's valued above it.
Consistently. More precious than silver, gold, rubies. Proverbs 3, Proverbs 8. It's saying if you have a choice between, say, a windfall of cash and genuine understanding.
Choose the understanding for the long run.
That's the core message. That's the real asset.
Okay, that sets the stage perfectly. Now let's get into the actual rules, the mechanics. Rule number 1 seems pretty straightforward. Diligence.
Yeah, diligence beats daydreaming, basically. Proverbs 14.23. In all labor there is profit, but the talk of the lips tendeth only to penury.
Penury. That's deep poverty, right?
Extreme poverty. So the contrast is stark. Actual work, labor creates profit. Just talking about work, planning, strategizing without doing.
Leads to nothing, or worse than nothing, poverty.
It's a critique of ambition without action. It doesn't say don't plan, but it says the profit is in the doing.
So, endless meetings, perfect strategy decks, but no product launch, no sales made. That's talk of the lips.
That's exactly it, in modern terms. And Proverbs 21.5 echoes this. The diligent person's thoughts lead to plenty, but the hasty person, or maybe the person who just thinks and doesn't do, ends up in want.
The text often contrasts the diligent person with the sluggard, doesn't it?
Yes, and it's not a flattering picture. The soul of the sluggard desireth, and have nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made fat.
Made fat, meaning prosperous,
Satisfied.
abundant, nourished. While the sluggard just wants things but has nothing because they don't act. There's that other verse too, Proverbs 20.4.
Oh, the one about plowing.
Yeah. The sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold, therefore shall he beg and harvest and have nothing. That detail, by reason of the cold, feels so real. It's like waiting for perfect conditions, isn't it? Putting off the hard work because it's uncomfortable.
Exactly. Minor inconvenience becomes the excuse for inaction. And the consequence is begging when the rewards are being handed out. The takeaway is consistent effort, even when it's tough, is where the profit lies. Don't wait.
Okay, Rule 2 builds on this idea of proactive work. It introduces the ant system.
Right. Proverbs 6. Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise.
So what's so wise about the ant?
Self-motivation and foresight. The text notes the ant works having no guide, overseer, or ruler.
It manages itself.
Precisely. And it provideth her meat in the summer and gathereth her food in the harvest. It prepares proactively during times of abundance for the inevitable times of scarcity.
So it's about self-discipline, planning ahead, saving, without needing external pressure.
It's the model for financial independence, really. You take responsibility for your future. You don't wait for a crisis or a boss to tell you to save or prepare.
And the danger of not doing this, of being that sluggard instead of the ant, the text describes it quite vividly.
It's terrifying, actually. It talks about a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. That sounds harmless, right? Just relaxing.
Yeah, procrastination, putting things off.
But the result isn't just gradual decline. It says, so shall thy poverty come as one that travelleth, and thy want as an armed man.
Wow, as an armed man. That's sudden, violent even.
It implies catastrophic ruin. Poverty doesn't just creep up. It attacks when you're unprepared due to inaction. It's an incredibly strong warning against complacency and sloth. That folding of the hands invites disaster.
Okay, so we've got diligence and proactive planning. Rule 3 shifts to ethics, honest scales.
Yes, integrity in all your dealings. This is non-negotiable in Proverbs for building anything that lasts. A false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight.
And it's repeated, isn't it? Like the warning against diverse weights and diverse measures.
Absolutely. Proverbs 20 hammers this. Using different standards for buying and selling, basically, cheating is condemned outright. It undermines the trust needed for any kind of stable commerce.
We often think of honesty morally, but what's the financial case Proverbs makes? Why is dishonesty bad for business in the long run?
Because wealth gained deceitfully is described as inherently unstable. Proverbs 13 says, wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished. It just won't stick.
Vanity here meaning emptiness, deceit.
Deceit, illusion, something without substance. And Proverbs 21 is even harsher. The getting of treasures by a lying tongue is a vanity tossed to and fro of them that seek death.
Tossed to and fro, like it has no anchor.
Exactly. It's volatile. Think about it. Dishonesty destroys your reputation, which we'll get to. It invites lawsuits. It drives away good partners. Eventually, you become isolated. You can't build anything lasting on lies.
So integrity isn't just moral. It's actually a strategy for long-term financial stability.
Definitely. Proverbs 10. He that walketh uprightly walketh surely. Honesty provides a solid foundation. Deceit introduces massive, uninsurable risk.
All right, rule 4. This one gets quoted a lot. Debt discipline.
Yes, the famous Proverbs 22.7. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender.
That's blunt. It's not just about interest payments, is it?
No, it frames debt fundamentally as a loss of freedom. You become beholden, a servant, to whoever holds your debt. Your autonomy is compromised.
Whether that's a credit card company or, in business, a major lender dictating terms.
Exactly. Too much leverage limits your options. You can't pivot, you can't seize opportunities because you're serving the debt first. So avoiding debt is about preserving your freedom to act wisely.
And interestingly, the text connects this personal discipline back to ethics again, doesn't it? With how the rich treat the poor.
It does. There's a warning in Proverbs 22 against oppressing the poor to get richer, saying that person shall surely come to want.
So predatory lending or exploiting debt is also seen as unstable.
Yes, and Proverbs 28 talks about gaining wealth through usury and unjust gain, saying that wealth will eventually end up with someone who shows pity to the poor. It reinforces the idea. Ethically gained wealth is durable, exploitative wealth is temporary. It all ties back together.
Okay, so we have the foundations. Work hard, plan ahead, be honest, avoid debt. Now we move into how you interact with others. These next rules seem like wealth multipliers.
Or destroyers if you get them wrong. Rule 5 is about seeking counsel and, implicitly, diversification.
Proverbs 15. Without counsel, purposes are disappointed, but in the multitude of counselors they are established.
This is all about recognizing you don't know everything. Relying only on thine own understanding, as Proverbs 3 warns against, is dangerous. You need outside perspectives to check your assumptions, spot blind spots.
So it's seeking advice, but multitude of counselors. Does that just mean getting lots of opinions?
It implies diverse opinions, not just echo chambers. Getting different viewpoints, maybe legal, financial, ethical, operational, before making a big move. It's about stress testing your plans.
It sounds like strategic planning for a company or even a military campaign.
And the text makes that link explicit. Proverbs 24. For by wise counsel thou shalt make thy war, and in multitude of counselors there is safety.
So whether it's business strategy or personal finance, the principle is the same. Spread the intellectual risk. Get diverse, wise input for safety and success.
Precisely. Don't go it alone on important decisions.
Rule 6 feels very relevant today with social media and instant communication. Guard your mouth equals guard your money.
Oh, absolutely. Proverbs 1. Whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from troubles.
The mouth is portrayed as a real liability sometimes.
A major one. Proverbs 18 says the fool's mouth is his destruction, his lips are a snare. Think about how easily loose talk can damage things.
Like leaking confidential information, bad-mouthing a partner, making promises you can't keep.
All of it. The text warns against too many words leading to error, Proverbs 10, against being a talebearer who reveal its secrets, Proverbs 20, which is basically corporate espionage back then. It causes strife, wastes time, destroys trust.
So controlling your speech isn't just about being polite, it's active risk management.
It really is. Conversely, the person who holds their tongue is wise, Proverbs 13, and lips of knowledge are a precious jewel, Proverbs 20. Sometimes silence truly is golden.
Okay, rule 7. This one is fascinating because it seems to contradict the goal of getting rich. It's about character compounding. A good name is better than gold.
Proverbs 22.1. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold.
Why? If the goal is prosperity, why choose reputation over actual riches?
Because, according to this wisdom, reputation is the ultimate asset. It's the basis for trust, credit, access, opportunity. Riches can disappear.
Right. Proverbs 23 has that image of riches making themselves wings and flying away like an eagle.
Exactly. It emphasizes the volatility of wealth that isn't grounded in something solid. But a good name, loving favor, that's durable. It attracts help, partnerships, leniency in hard times.
So reputation acts like invisible currency.
That's a great way to put it. It provides ongoing security and opportunity flow. Proverbs 10 says, the righteous is an everlasting foundation. Your character is the bedrock. Proverbs 3 says a good name brings favor. Proverbs 4 links it to promotion. It's the asset that keeps yielding returns.
And Proverbs 11 contrasts a gracious woman retaining honor with strong men retaining riches, implying the honor lasts longer.
That seems to be the implication. Inner quality, character, holds its value more reliably than external factors like strength or even accumulated cash.
Rule 8 presents a real paradox, the generosity flywheel. Giving leads to increase.
It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? Proverbs 11. There is that scattereth, and yet increaseth. And there is that withholdeth more than is meet, but it tendeth to poverty.
So hoarding actually leads to lack, while giving things away leads to more.
That's the principle. It challenges a scarcity mindset. The text promises, the liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that watereth shall be watered also himself.
Being liberal here means generous.
Generous,
Yeah.
open-handed. It's suggesting that putting resources out there wisely creates a cycle of return. It's not just about feeling good, it's presented as an economic principle.
Maybe like building social capital, creating goodwill and networks that benefit you later.
That's certainly a modern interpretation that fits. You become known as a resource, someone who helps, and that generates reciprocity. It builds a stronger ecosystem around you.
And this is tied back to honoring God, right? Proverbs 3 connects giving your first fruits to having your barns filled.
Yes, honor the Lord with thy substance, and with the first fruits of all thine increase. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty.
Giving the first fruits, that implies it's not an afterthought. It's a planned primary allocation.
Exactly. It suggests generosity should be built into your financial system from the start, not just giving away leftovers. It's seen as a fundamental part of ensuring the whole system thrives and grows.
All right, we've covered building wealth through diligence, integrity, relationships. Now, the last two rules seem focused on avoiding specific traps that can destroy everything.
Definitely. These are common pitfalls then and now. Rule 9 is patience beats haste. Play the long game.
Proverbs 21. The thoughts of the diligent tend only to plenteousness, but of everyone that is hasty only to want.
Haste is just seen as foolishness. The diligent person thinks, plans, acts patiently, leading to abundance. The hasty person tries to rush the process.
Get rich quick.
Basically. And the text says that leads directly to want, to deficiency. It bypasses the necessary steps of due diligence.
And it's not just bad strategy, it's linked to character flaws again.
Yes, Proverbs 28 is very clear. He that maketh haste to be rich shall not be innocent. There's often an ethical compromise involved in rushing.
Cutting corners.
Right. And another verse in Proverbs 28 says, the person who hasteth to be rich hath an evil eye, and considereth not that poverty shall come upon him.
An evil eye, like being greedy, focused only on the prize, ignoring the consequences.
That seems to be the idea. A lack of consideration for the process, for others, for the potential downsides. It shows a lack of trust in the patient, diligent path. It's the opposite of that core principle. Get wisdom, trust the process, haste tries to short-circuit it, and ends in failure.
Okay, the final rule, Rule 10, avoid surety. This is about co-signing, right?
Exactly. And the language here is incredibly urgent, almost panicked. Proverbs 6, my son, if thou be surety for thy friend, deliver thyself as a roe from the hand of the hunter, and as a bird from the hand of the fowler.
Wow. Escape like prey being hunted. Why such a strong warning against co-signing for someone?
Because becoming surety, or striking hands, as it's also called, means you're guaranteeing someone else's debt. You take on all the risk if they default, often with none of the potential reward from whatever they borrowed the money for.
It's seen as setting a trap for yourself.
A potentially devastating one. Proverbs 11 says flatly, he that is surety for a stranger shall smart for it. You'll feel the pain if it goes bad.
You're exposed to risk you don't control.
Completely. That's why the advice, if you are caught in this trap already, is so drastic.
What does it say to do?
Proverbs 6 again, don't wait. Go, humble thyself, and make sure thy friend. Basically, hound your friend, pressure them relentlessly, do whatever it takes to get them to settle the debt and get you off the hook.
Humbling yourself implies it might be awkward or difficult, but necessary for self-preservation.
Utterly necessary. The goal is deliver thyself, get out. The repeated warnings against this practice, like in Proverbs 22 and 20 as well, show how fundamental this defensive principle is. Don't guarantee others' debts.
So that's our deep dive into the 10 rules. Diligence, foresight, integrity, debt freedom, counsel, careful speech, reputation, generosity, patience, and avoiding surety.
And it's really clear they're not just isolated tips. They form a whole system, don't they?
Yeah, and an integrated approach. Labor and integrity build the foundation. Freedom from debt gives you flexibility. Then counsel, communication, and character multiply your effectiveness.
And generosity, patience, and risk avoidance sustain it all for the long haul.
So the actionable takeaway for you listening, it seems to come back to that first principle, seeking understanding. Proverbs 1 says the wise person keeps learning, gets wise counsel.
Knowledge and discretion, Proverbs 2 says, they preserve you. It really feels like the quality of your thinking, your internal state, directly shapes your external results.
Which leads us to that final thought, doesn't it? The sources keep hammering this point. Your inner world matters more than your outer circumstances.
Right. We know diligence leads to prosperity, but underneath the diligence has to be the right character, the right mindset, wisdom, integrity, patience.
So if wisdom and righteousness are the direct path to durable riches, if managing your character is the ultimate financial strategy,
Then the question becomes intensely personal.
Proverbs 4.23 asks it directly. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. So the question for you is, how much diligence, how much focus are you putting on safeguarding your inner world, your thoughts, your ethics, your mindset?
Because according to this ancient yet startlingly modern wisdom,
Yeah.
that might be the most crucial financial decision you make every single day. Secure the source, and the flow of durable riches is not just possible.
Maybe even inevitable.
That's the implication.
Powerful stuff. We hope this deep dive gives you a new lens, maybe a very old lens, to look at your own financial journey.
Absolutely.
That's all for this deep dive. Until next time, keep digging.